Hello everyone, welcome to the class students. This is going to be an exciting session because we will be discussing about sexual reproduction in this particular class, in this particular session. So before starting the class, if you do not know me, who am I? Let me introduce myself very quickly. I am Vindhya Rao, will be taking a biology in this particular channel. Let's crack foundation at NTSC, and I have done my masters in biochemistry, bachelor's in biochemistry, botany, zoology, qualified KSET exam, mentored more than 10,000 students by now for various exams like NTSC, NSCGS, NEET, and many more. But I am here to make you fall in love with biology because if you love the subject, let me tell you, anything and everything is going to be very easy for you when it comes to, exams or anything like that, right? And students, before starting the class, I have to tell you something about the different types of subscription. So students, since you are the NEET aspirants, let me tell you, if you have already completed your class 9th and 10th syllabus, you can directly take the NEET UG subscription in Unacademy. So you are able to see the price for 1 year and 2 years. So for 1 year it is 34,650. 2 year, you know what it is here. So also you can take the iconic subscription as well. So while taking the subscription, use my code VRLEF to get 10% discount, right? And also students, 10% discount, along with which you are able to get the guidance for this exam, that is NEET. And let's say that you're studying in class 9th and 10th and you want to prepare for the NEET, JE, NTSC, NSCGS along with your class 9th and 10th. And for this particular, if you are in this particular state, you can take the subscription of Foundation and NTSC, because in Foundation NTSC Olympiad subscription, you will be able to attend the classes, the courses of NTSC, NEET, JE, NSGS along with the class 9th and 10th. So while taking the subscription, again, you can use my code VRLive. So everyone have got code, right? So just like that, even I too have got a code. And students, you will be able to, you can use my code if you love me, if you love my teaching style as such. So even the price is really cost effective, I can tell you. And last but not the least, students, I also take up the classes and courses in CBSE 9th and 10th, and you have got a great opportunity in CBSE 9th and 10th, that is iconic subscription. And also students, something called as creative corner you are able to get if you go for this particular plan. So in creative corner, you will be able to learn for poetry and other extracurricular activities you can also learn. So you are able to see the different plans for CBSE 9th and CBSE 10th also, it is going to be the same, right? So again, while taking the subscription, use eco-friendly code VRLive to get 10% discount. Definitely you are able to get the guidance for various exams, and yes, handwritten notes for your CBSE 9th and 10th final exams. So let's proceed. That is about the class reproduction in organisms part 3. So let me say some of your answers for the previous question, that is homework question. So agamogeny is mode of reproduction in which new individual develop without involving fusion of gametes, right? So Uzma, you're absolutely correct. So agamogeny is nothing but asexual reproduction. And also she has given the answer for ramete, that is offsprings of organisms are genetically and physically similar, that is clones are also called as ramete, right? And also she has given the answer for the totipotent cells, that is the cell which have capacity to form whole body of the organism, is called as totipotent cell. Very beautifully answered. Next, Gorakhpur Tak have given the answer for totipotent cells. Stem cells are the most versatile stem cell type because they are formed, yes, absolutely correct, after fertilization of an egg cell by the sperm cell. Okay, let me once again read. Totipotent stem cells are the most versatile stem cell because they are formed shortly after fertilization of the egg cell by a sperm. So you mean that the zygote? Yes. Okay, this is right answer. Ramete is an independent member of clone. Absolutely correct. Even Dr. Satya have given the right answer. So for totipotent, that is totipotent cells are the special cells that can become any type of cells as needed. Absolutely correct. So see, 3 of you have given the right answer. Very happy to see that. So today also we'll be giving some homework question. I don't know what about others, Chaturya, Anupriya, Anushri. So you also give an answer frequently. So please try answer to all of the homework question which I give. And students, today we will be studying about sexual reproduction. So in the sexually reproducing organism, we are able to see different phases of growth, right? So different phases of growth we are able to see in the sexually reproducing organism. So very first phase would be juvenile phase, also called as vegetative phase. right? So vegetative phase we are using in the case of plants. In the case of animals, we can call them as a juvenile phase. That is the stage or the phase just before the reproduction is called as juvenile phase. It is a type of growth or maturity stage before the organism reproduces sexually, is called as juvenile phase. So we all are in the juvenile phase, right? Like, before the reproduction, the phase is called as juvenile. Next is definitely reproductive phase. So basically, the phases of growth in the sexually reproducing organisms are of three. One is juvenile, reproductive phase, and the last would be senescent phase. So right now we are in the reproductive phase. So in the reproductive phase, what exactly happens? Definitely it happens after the juvenile phase, also called as vegetative phase, right? So in this particular stage, what exactly happens is organisms reproduce, right? So if you let's if it comes under the if you are going to discuss about the plants, then in the case of some of the plants, we are able to see they are able to reproduce just once in their lifetime. For example is bamboo. Yes, so after the reproduction, in the case of bamboo, they are going to die. Okay, and also Strobilanthes kuntiana, that is Nilakurunji, right? I can tell you Nilgiris, right? So they will be able to flower once in 12 years. Yes, so we are able to see different type of reproductive phase also in the case of different organism. So in general, reproductive phase is nothing but when an organism is able to reproduce, right? That particular stage is called as reproductive phase. It can be in the case of plants or in the case of animals. So in the case of some of the higher organisms, including humans, that is again primates, we are able to see certain cycles we are able to see in the reproductive phase. So in the case of female placental animal, we are able to see activities that is happening in the ovaries and accessory glands with the help of hormone, right? So we will be understanding what is this particular cycle that we're able to see in the case of placental organisms, right? So which is going to happen with the help of hormones. That is nothing but, students, menstrual cycle. I repeat, we have just seen juvenile phase, right? That is also called as vegetative phase. That is going to happen just before the reproductive phase in the case of organism. So after juvenile phase, we have just seen the introductory part of reproductive phase, right? That is the organism, whenever it is start able to show reproduction, that particular stage or phase is called as reproductive phase. We have seen in the case of Strobilanthes kuntiana, and in the case of bamboo, they are able to reproduce just once in their lifetime, or once in 12 years in the case of kuntiana, right? So in this particular reproductive phase, we are able to see certain type of cycles. So let's start with the very first cycle, that is menstrual cycle. So menstrual cycle happens in the primates, that is in the case of apes, monkeys, human beings. We are able to see menstrual cycle. So what exactly is going to happen during the menstrual cycle? So if you are able to see in this particular images, menstrual cycle will be first starting with the menstruation, that is shedding of endometrial wall, right? So which is accompanied with the bleeding. So once the menstruation is complete, we are able to see follicular phase, also called as proliferative phase, in which the follicle which has got ovum is going to proliferate, is able to grow. So once there is complete development of this particular follicle which has the ovum is going to get released from the matured follicle called as Graafian follicle, and the release of the ovum is called as ovulation. So once the ovum is lost from the follicle, right? So this follicle, that is Graafian follicle, which was matured follicle, after getting rid of the ovum, they are going to become corpus luteum, right? And they are able to secrete some of the hormones like progesterone, and this particular phase, that is after the release of the ovum from the follicle, is called as secretory phase. So there are mainly three phases of menstrual cycle: menstruation, proliferative stage or follicular phase, ovulation, and secretory phase, right? So blood is going to flow in the last few days of the cycle, that is nothing but during the menstruation. So why the blood is going to flow during the menstruation? Yes, very simple. So blood is able to flow during the menstruation because the endometrium layer that is present in the uterus, they are going to get shed off. So I can tell you, uterus have got three layers. Okay, so innermost is endometrium layer. So they will be shedding off. They are just going to broken down. So endometrium layer is, as I have told you, it is rich with the blood vessel. So when they break, definitely the blood vessels are going to get ruptured and we are able to see some clumps of the blood. So that's why in the periods or in the menstruation, girls are able to bleed, right? Because it is nothing but the broken part of the endometrium. Simple, right? Four stages everyone have to remember. Now, female does not permit copulation during the menstrual phase of the cycle. That is, during the menstruation, that is during the shedding of the endometrium. Okay, so she won't be able to show the copulation. That is, she won't be ready for the mating. The reason is, during the breakdown of the endometrium, ovum is not present in the body. So it is no point in the mating along with the male individual. So that's why during the menstruation stage, menstrual phase of the menstrual cycle, female is not able to permit the sperm into her uterus. She won't be able to show copulation, right? So this is very simple, students, and also don't worry about these stages. I'm going to explain even more in detail in the coming class. Separate class I may keep for the menstrual cycle or maybe menstruation, what and all the things are going to happen during the menstruation, why some females get a stomach ache, especially. Again, it is not a stomach ache, it is a lower abdominal ache, we are supposed to say it as. And why they feel weak, why some of the girls faint during menstruation. All of this I'm going to take a special session in the YouTube, so we will be understanding everything even more detail. But I'm very sure whatever I've told you just now, you're able to understand. And also, what is the reason, students? You have to tell me in the comment section. What is the reason for breaking down of endometrium layer? Why endometrium shed off in menstruation? Yes, of course, the hormones, few hormones are involved. So what exactly going to happen to these hormones? You have to tell me in the comment section. Homework, very interesting. Next, that is something called as estrous cycle. So we are in the reproductive phase. That is the stage in which organisms are able to reproduce. We have just seen menstrual cycle, which had got 4 stages. At the end of the menstrual cycle, or I can tell you in the between, we are able to see shedding of the endometrium, that is menstruation, menses, or the bleeding, right? And the cycle, menstrual cycle, is monthly cycle. It is going to happen approximately, the duration of the menstrual cycle is 28 days. So every 28 days, new menstrual cycle is going to happen. So this is happening in the case of primates. Now coming to estrous cycle. Estrous cycles are happening in non-primates. Yes, of course, in the mammals, but non-primates, that is cow, sheep, cattle, dog, they all are able to show a seasonal cycle called as estrous cycle. Okay, so what is exactly going to happen in estrous cycle? As I've told you, it is a seasonal cycle and it is having very short period. That is will be consisting of two main periods or stage, that is short period of estrus, also called as heat, right? And another stage is also another stage is called as anestrus cycle or passive period. So period of short period of estrus and anestrus period, right? So in this particular very first stage, which is very short, that is a short period of estrus cycle, also called as heat, the duration is just 12 to 24 hours. So in this particular heat time or in the estrus time, the individual, the organism is supposed to show copulation followed by the mating and fertilization, right? And the speciality of estrus cycle is the organism will not show bleeding. Organism's endometrium, they will be broken, but it will be reabsorbed. Yes, so this endometrium layer is not going to get shed off. Okay, so in the heat period or in the period of estrus, short period of estrus, we are able to see some of the discharge from the body of the organism. Especially in the case of cow, we are able to see this discharge, and this particular vaginal discharge that is happening during the heat period, some of the time it will be also having some amount of and the blood, and it is usually confused of menstruation. So I repeat once again, estrous cycle is having just 2 periods and no menses. No menstruation is going to happen here. No bleeding is going to happen here. Okay, so they won't be able to bleed. They will be able to shed their endometrium, but they are going to reabsorb, right? So very simple cycle happening in the non-primates. So we have understood some of the important aspect, and female will be permitting copulation only during the estrous period. I have told you just before some time, right? Both in the case of plants and animals, for any of this cycle, hormones are going to accompany. In the case of plants, we are able to see phytohormones like auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid, right? So whereas in the case of humans, or again I can tell you mammals, we are able to see hormones like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. Yes, I'm not going to write it now because we are going to we are going to understand about these concepts once again in very much detail. So that's why I'm not writing everything and anything. Okay, yes. So all of these hormones are involved in the even in the estrous cycle, and the interaction between the hormones and the environmental factors will be causing for reproductive process. Yes, students, if in case some amount of the hormone is quite less, it won't help in the reproduction. So people, the individual cannot become pregnant, right? And also environmental factors will be affecting a lot for the reproduction, and cause of these two reasons, no, we are able to see now sterility in the modern human beings, in the modern women. I can tell you, cause of the bad lifestyle, that is cause of the bad environmental factors like not having proper sleep, overworking, stress, right? So overworking, stress, not having proper sleep, food will be affecting the hormones of our body, right? So which will be causing for effect to the reproductive phase as well, right? So I hope you have understood these cycles. Now coming to the last part of the phase of the growth, that is senescence phase. So again, I'm going to give you a quick revision. Beginning we had seen, first of all, there are 3 phases of growth in the sexually reproducing organism. 3 phases of growth in sexually reproducing organism. First would be the juvenile phase, also called as vegetative phase, in which is happening just before the reproductive phase. And in the case of reproductive phase, we are able to see reproduction, right? Body is making the organism's body is making themselves ready for the reproduction. 2 cycles we have seen, estrous cycle and menstrual cycle. After that, we are seeing right now is senescence phase, which is nothing but the rate of the metabolism and everything is going to reduce, and ultimate stage of the senescence is nothing but the death. Okay, so hormones are again responsible for the transition of all these 3 phases. So in the last phase, that is in the senescence phase, you are able to see rate of metabolism will be slowing down. Right now, our granny, grandpa, they all are in the senescence phase, that is in the old age. So they keep saying, I have knee ache, I have not stomach ache, I have back pain. So what is exactly happening? Why they are facing a lot of these problems? Because their rate of metabolism is going to slow down, which means amount of hormones, enzymes are going to reduce. So body is not able to efficiently work. So that's why they are experiencing some, pain or ache in the body. So we have seen all the 3 phases of the growth. So now coming to some important aspects. I've already told you about this. So this is very important, students, because they have given about these 2, trees in your NCERT textbook. So you have to know what is the lifetime of bamboo, and when exactly they will be able to reproduce. And also in the case of Strobilanthes kuntiana, what is the flowering time, this you have to know. Okay, so this is bamboo, this is Nilgiris, right? So beautiful. Also you know that some of the oil can be extracted for the medicinal purpose from the Strobilanthes kuntiana. Moving next, students, that is events that is happening the sexual reproduction. So there are three main stages that we are able to see in the sexual reproduction, right? So phases of the growth we have seen already. Now coming to events that is happening in the sexual reproduction. So starting with the pre-fertilization. So pre-fertilization is nothing but the fertilization, the stage that is happening just before to the fertilization is called as pre-fertilization, right? Whereas fertilization is nothing but fusion of male and female gamete. Fertilization is fusion of male and female gamete. Post-fertilization is after the fusion of male and female gamete. Whatever the stages that we are able to see, events that we are able to see is called as post-fertilization event. So let's get started with the pre-fertilization, right? So all the events of the sexual reproduction that is happening just before to the fertilization, just before to the fusion of male and female gamete is called as pre-fertilization event. So there are again two stages in the pre-fertilization event, that is gametogenesis, production of the gamete, and transferring of these gametes to the female reproductive part. So let's now understand quickly what is this gametogenesis. You can actually see here in the case of Chlamydomonas, fusion of male and female strain to produce zygote and new individual, right? So this is fertilization. Whereas you are able to see over here, right, in this particular example, gametogenesis happening. So we will be, however, studying these concepts very much in detail, but now a small sort of introduction. So gametogenesis is nothing but production or formation of the gametes. Gameto means gamete. Genesis means production, right? So gametes are always and always, they just have got one set of chromosomes. That's why they are haploid. Can be written as N, right? So gametes are always haploid. Yes. So, they are just having one set of chromosomes, but gametes can be in the different size, different shape, different structure. So, when male and female gametes, when both of these gametes are similar in appearance, so such type of gametes are called as isogametes or homogametes. Homo means what? Same, right? Iso means again same. So, homogametes are nothing but same type of gametes. Both male and female gametes, they appear same, right? So this is first type of gametes. Second is, that it is a heterogametes. That is nothing but when the male and female gametes are different in size. That is when they are morphologically different from each other. Such type of gametes are called as heterogametes. So usually male gametes are called as sperm or antherozoid, right? In the case of plants, we use the term antherozoid for the male gametes. In the case of human beings, or in the case of mammals, animals, we use sperm, the name sperm for the male gametes, whereas female gametes are always called as ovum or egg. Remember, all of these are haploid. They all are haploid. So I hope you have understood heterogametes. We have seen till now three phases of the growth: juvenile, reproductive, senescent. In the reproductive, we have seen estrus and menstrual cycle. Now we are discussing about events that is happening in the sexual reproduction, that is pre-fertilization, fertilization, post-fertilization. Right now we are in the pre-fertilization, and in the pre-fertilization we are understanding gametogenesis and gamete transfer, and right now we are in gametogenesis. We have seen two types of gametes, and next we will be understanding about sexuality in the organism, right? So students, we know that there are important terms that you have to know, that is bisexual, unisexual, monoecious, dioecious. Bisexual means two reproductive organs are present in the same organism, whereas unisexual means one sex, that is one gender, one sex part, or one sexual reproductive part is present in one organism. Such type of sexuality is called as unisexual. We all are unisexual. I am unisexual, you are unisexual, because in one individual we are able to see just one reproductive part, right? Next, monoecious. So bisexual condition in several plants and fungi is called as monoecious, right? So bisexual in the case of plants and fungi are usually referred as monoecious, whereas unisexual in the case of plants and fungi are referred as dioecious. Papaya, date, palm, they all are bisexual plants, unisexual plant, that is they are dioecious. Di means again two, right? So two reproductive parts are present separately in the different plants and fungi. So monoecious, one plant will be having both male and female reproductive part, right? Also called as homothallic, that is same reproductive part is reproductive part is present in the same organism. That's why the name homothallic. In the single thallus we are able to see both male and female reproductive part. That's why the name homothallic, right? So you have to know these terms, very important: bisexual, unisexual, homothallic, heterothallic, which is nothing but monoecious and dioecious. In the case of cockroach also, coconut, cucurbita, you are able to see monoecious, they all are monoecious, right? Whereas students, animals examples also you have to remember: unisexual, cockroach is unisexual, earthworm is bisexual, also called as hermaphrodites. Earthworm, tapeworm, they all are bisexual, whereas human beings, cockroach, they all are unisexual. Bisexual, also called as hermaphrodites, right? So moving further, sexuality we have understood. Now hermaphrodites I have told you already. Bisexual animals possess both male and female reproductive organs, this I have told you, right? Now another two terms you have to know, that is staminate and pistillate. What is staminate? Stamen is nothing but the male part of the plant which will be having only stamen. I repeat once again, staminate are nothing but the plants which are having only stamen. They are the unisexual male flower. Yes, they are dioecious male flower. I repeat once again, we have seen bisexual, unisexual, now monoecious, dioecious. So when I say staminate, they are dioecious, but they are the male dioecious plant. That is, they are the male dioecious flower, which means they just have got stamen in them, right? That is the male part. Whereas when I say dioecious female, it means they are pistillate, which means they just have pistil. That is the female reproductive part. So we have seen bisexual. In the case of animals like earthworm, can also be called as hermaphrodites. And then we have seen unisexual, one reproductive part is present in one organism. And then we have seen dioecious, monoecious. Monoecious is nothing but bisexual flower, whereas dioecious means they are the unisexual flower. So dioecious female are pistillate, dioecious male are staminate. Okay, these all terms again you have to know. Next, coming to the gamete formation, that is how exactly gametes can be formed. Yes, we know that gametogenesis is production of the gametes, but is it that easy to form the gamete? If I do, yes, plant, go give me gamete, will it be able to give the gamete? Is it that easy process, right? It is not that easy process, because there are several mechanisms that has to go through, including the cell division. Only when the cell is able to show meiosis type of cell division, then only we are able to see the production of the gametes, because gametes are haploid, right? Only meiosis type of cell division has to be taken place for the production of the gametes. So gametes are haploid, and haploid plant body, several organism belongs to Monera, fungi, algae, bryophytes. They all are able to show haploid type of plant body, whereas diploid are the one that is pteridophyte, gymnosperm. So in the case of bryophytes, we are able to see the plant body is haploid. Yes. So in the haploid plant body, that is gametophyte, we are able to see the sporophyte. So this is what we are trying to say here. I know it is quite confusing. Whereas diploid plant body, all rest other than these four are nothing but they will be having diploid plant body. That is, any body cells if I take, they are made up of diploid cell, including human beings. Now our body is diploid, because if I take any part of my body, let's say leg, toes, hand, if I take these cells of the hand, leg, toes, these cells are diploid because they will be having two set of chromosomes. Okay. Next. So I was saying that meiosis type of cell division is essential for the production of the gametes. So these cells which are able to show meiosis to produce gametes are called as meiocytes. So gamete mother cell which undergo meiosis is called as meiocytes. Meiocytes are diploid. So these diploid cells that is present in the reproductive structure are able to show meiosis to produce haploid cells, right? Next, now once the gametes are formed with the help of gametogenesis, that is with the help of meiosis type of cell division, now haploid cells are produced, gametes are produced. How these gametes can be transported onto the surface of the stigma or into the ovary, right, or into the egg? That is, several mechanisms have to be taken place for the transferring of the gamete. So let's understand about gamete transfer. So most of the organisms will be having the male gamete, which is highly motile. So always, most of the time, male gametes are highly motile. That means it is able to produce, it is able to run in a greater speed, and their number is more. So male gametes, they are highly motile, their numbers are more than the female gametes, and they are highly energetic, and they are able to move from one place to another place with the help of the flagella or tail or as such. Whereas female gametes, they are not able to move from one place to another place. Definitely there are exceptions, okay. Only in the case of algae and fungi, we are able to see both male and female gametes are able to move. Whereas in the case of higher organisms, including humans, if you consider, sperm are able to move for in a greater speed, and their number is also very high. Whereas ovum, egg, is not able to move, and their size is very big, right? So these male gametes will be present inside the pollen grains if you consider in the case of plants. So pollen grains which will be having the gamete will be transported onto the surface of the stigma. Onto the surface of the stigma, this is stigma, this is ovary, this is ovule, right? As you can see in the case of here in the GIF, pollen grains has fallen onto the surface of the stigma, pollen tube is getting produced, and pollen tube will be having two male gamete, and this pollen tube which has got male gamete will be fusing with the ovum and polar nuclei. Can you see two polar nuclei, right? Which will be forming endosperm later, whereas the male gamete which has fused with the egg is going to become embryo. Okay, so two male gametes will be transported through the pollen tube, and then you are able to see ovary is converted into fruit. Tada! Yes, stigma, this is stigma, ovule, ovary. Pollen tube is going to form from the pollen grain. Now pollen grain, pollen tube is formed, two male gamete you are able to see. One male gamete is able to fuse with the ovum, that is egg. Another male gamete will be fusing with the polar nuclei, right, to form endosperm. See, polar nuclei will be fused with the one sperm cell, another sperm cell is egg. They will be fusing with to form zygote and endosperm. Zygote is able to get converted into embryo, whereas the endosperm is going to get utilized by the embryo, and ovary is converted into fruit. Okay, so pollen grains will be germinating on the stigma to produce pollen tube that delivers the male gametes near the ovule. This we have seen just now. So transferring of this pollen tube, transferring of this pollen grain onto the surface of the stigma is called as pollination, students. So what is pollination? Pollination is nothing but transferring of the pollen grain onto the surface of the stigma. Okay, so now this particular stigma can be present in the same flower, or the stigma can be present in a different flower. In the case of unisexual flower, we are able to see, especially if I say pistillate flower. In the case of pistillate, we are able to see just pistil, that is, it is a unisexual female flower. So over there you are able to see, just in the one flower, one male gamete, maybe from different flower, will be able to transfer onto the stigma, right? So I hope you have understood pollination, that is transferring of the male gamete, that is transferring of the pollen grain onto the surface of the stigma is called as pollination. Fertilization is fusion of male and female gamete. Now these pollen grains are produced from the anthers. And don't worry, male reproductive structures we will be discussing very much in detail in the upcoming classes. So pollination cannot happen that easily. It's not like simply pollen grains can transfer onto the surface of the stigma. No. So there will be again requirement of certain medium. So what are those medium? How pollination can happen? Is it just by air? The pollen grains can be transferred onto the surface of the stigma, or even water can be involved, or can humans are also involved, or some other insect animals are involved. So we will be understanding quickly a small table which speaks about agents of pollination. I repeat once again, a quick revision for whatever we have done till now. I won't be starting from the beginning. I will be starting from the events of sexual reproduction. Sexuality, I hope you remember sexuality, right? Sexuality, bisexual, unisexual, dioecious, monoecious, right? Hermaphrodites, pistillate and staminate, right? And after this, events of fertilization, pre-fertilization, fertilization, post-fertilization. We are right now in the pre-fertilization, that is gametogenesis, right? Gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Gametogenesis, we have just seen that gametes are able to get produced by the meiosis type of cell division by meiocytes. Now we are in the gamete transfer, that is pollination. Different agents like air, water, which are non-living things, that is abiotic factors, will be causing for pollination, transferring of the male gametes onto the surface of the stigma, right? And anemophily is transferring with the help of wind, air, whereas hydrophily means transferring with the help of the male gamete with the help of water. And then is biotic factor, that is all the living creatures that are able to transfer the male gamete onto the surface of the stigma is called as biotic factors. So entomophily is pollination by insect. Ornithophily, ornitho means study, ornithology means study of the birds. Ornithophily means transfer, that is pollination with the help of birds, right? Hummingbird will be able to collect the nectar from the flower, no? So they are able to pollinate, right? And insects are also able to pollinate. And then comes is chiropterophily, pollination by the bats. Yes, bats also feed on to the nectar of the flower, so they too can transfer the male gamete onto the surface of the stigma. Then is malacophily, that is snail and slug, which is so slow, which is sticky. Whenever they go into a particular flower, they will be also carrying lot of the pollen grains from them, and when they go to next flower, they are able to transfer this unknowingly, they are able to transfer this pollen grain into the next flower, right? And then last is myrmecophily, that is pollination by the insects. Pollination by the ant specifically is called as myrmecophily. Okay, so this is all the agents of pollination. And yes, students, that's all for today. Yes, that's all for today. And if in case if you want what do I say, the homework question, let me give you a homework question, that is dash number of or dash set of chromosomes are present in endosperm is a question. Okay, so dash number of set of or dash set of chromosomes are present in the endosperm is the homework question. Not that tricky, easy, important for the NEET exam. Yes, very important for the NEET 2021, 2022, 2023. Yes, and students, it's very important to take the subscription because this is the best time, because this is the lockdown time. You won't be able to spend much time in the going and coming from the school, so you have extra time now. So start preparing for the NEET now itself if possible. So we will be helping you out in the subscription classes. So my NEET course along with the KVPY is going to start from the next month, that is from the November 4th, right? So take the subscription as soon as possible. But ma'am, you'll be asking me, ma'am, what is this price? It is too high. Students, if you are going to the coaching institute for your NEET or JEE, let me tell you, you have to spend, you tend to spend more than 50,000, because no coaching centers will be offering you for less than 50,000. Yes, for 2 years or 1 year. But here, for 2 years, we are going to train you for the preparation of not only NTSC but also NSCGS, NEET, JEE, class 9th and 10th in such a less amount, that is 18,900. Yes, and also 15,750 for 1 year. And students, don't take the bad decision of taking just 1 month subscription, we won't entertain. 1 month, 3 month, I won't entertain at all, because we won't be able to complete the such a huge syllabus of NEET and JEE. Okay, and also other exams. So go for 1 year or 2 year subscription. It is highly cost effective. Let me tell you what exactly happens if you take 1 month subscription. However, you are going to continue. Okay, because you will be liking. That's what is happening with all other students. They just see, let me try, but they will be continuing. So their 3,000 is going to get absolutely wasted. So don't waste 3,000. Directly go for either 12 month or that is 1 year or 2 year subscription. And coming to the code, use my code VRLife to get 10% discount. So by using my code, you're showing love towards me. You're actually where is the you're not only showing the love towards me, but also students, the respect and the respect for my knowledge and even the teaching style, right? So let's meet in the coming class. And also don't worry, 9th and 10th students, I also take up the classes courses for you. So the CBSE 9th and 10th category, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, use my code VRLife to take the subscription. Bye bye.